With the 10th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Jedrick Wills, tackle, Alabama.
Oh, yeah!
We're going to make you a Brown here. We're real excited to get you in brown and orange.
Man, let's do it. Whenever y'all need me there, let's go.
The Cleveland Browns select Bryant, Delpit, defensive back, LSU.
Grant, congratulations, man. You're a Brown.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Cleveland Browns select Jacob Phillips, linebacker, LSU.
What's up, Browns fans? It is time for Browns Live Meet the Rookies. I am your host, Nathan Zagura, and of course, Browns Live Meet the Rookies is presented by Man-Can. Hope you get a chance to grab one of these delicious bad boys and enjoy the show. For 90 minutes, you're going to get to meet our entire 2020 draft class, get to know them, plus a special appearance from the Scottish Hammer himself, Jamie Gillan. He will join us tonight. But remember, it's all about you guys. That's what Browns Live is about, the best fans in the NFL. So use the hashtag Browns Live, and we will get your questions directly to our rookie class. I know many of you submitted already. Keep them coming, because tonight's about you and getting to know the Browns rookies. It's Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by Man-Can. And who better to kick off the show tonight than the general manager of the Cleveland Browns? Actually, we're going to go to the top pick of the Cleveland Browns, the 10th overall selection, Jedrick Wills. And you saw in that opening video just how excited Joe Thomas was about Jedrick Wills coming to the Browns. Let's take a look at why he was so excited. Jedrick, how are you doing? Thanks for being with us on Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by Man-Can. It's good to see you. How's everything been going for you?
It's going good. Appreciate you for having me here on Meet the Rookies. I'm super excited, and everything's well. It's as good as it can be right now.
So, Jedrick, my sources have told me that under that hat we've got a new hairstyle going. What's the deal with that?
I just got tired of the long hair. I had to change it up a little bit. So yeah, I have no hair. It's cut down. Probably one of the main reasons why I can have on a hat right now. This has been the first time thing in a while that I've been able to fit a hat on. So new hairstyle, new me.
And it's a nice hat there. Listen, I'm a fan of the high and tight, as you can tell. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Jedrick. You're from Lexington, Kentucky. This is called Meet the Rookies. We want to get to know you guys. Tell us a little bit something about young Jedrick Wills. What were you like as a young man?
I'd probably say I was troublesome. I had a whole lot of energy. But just a kid who grew up loving football was my favorite thing. That and basketball. I had a little love-hate relationship between both. I eventually got too big, so I had to pick football. But it filled me out right, and now I'm here.
And you come from a very athletic family. Your father coaches basketball. So your mother was a standout player at Eastern Kentucky. You mentioned that basketball game. Was that a dream, though? Was that something that you were bummed you had to choose football? By the way, it's worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Not really bummed out. I love football. I love everything about it, the aggression. I love hitting people. But basketball is always fun just because, you could be out there on the court. And I was always bigger than everybody. So I kind of bullied my way around. I like to shoot. It was just easy access for basketball, but football has definitely been my first love.
Who would you say you modeled your hoops game after when you were a young man? Who did you look up to on the court?
I was a big DeMarcus Cousins fan. He ended up going to the University of Kentucky. Yeah, Boogie Cousins, man. He was a problem. But I would say probably him. But I thought I was a point guard. So my favorite players growing up were AI and Carmelo when they were back on the Nuggets. So I thought I was like, I was this big dude trying to play point guard. So that's how that went for me.
Listen, that's the evolution of basketball in some respect, right? Now you have these big guys that can handle the rock. Jokic out there in Denver, speaking of the Nuggets. So Maybe it could have been, but listen, I think everything's gone pretty well for you. Let's go back to high school. What was your recruitment like? You end up at Alabama, obviously one of the most prestigious programs in the country, but what was that recruitment period like for you?
It was tough. Like you said, it was a fun, long recruitment process. It was a hard choice not to stay home here in Kentucky, but ended up coming down the last day between Alabama and Kentucky, and I just felt like going to Alabama, it was going to be the best opportunity for me.
When you go to Alabama, you go to a program like that, you have a legendary coach in Nick Saban. What did you learn from Nick Saban?
I learned a lot of things, but I feel like the best thing that helped me evolve throughout my college career was just being treated like a pro day in and day out. Just kind of the mentality and the attitude, the work ethic, all those things, the preparation you had to bring every day to, thrive in a prestigious franchise like Alabama.
So you go there, right? You start one game in your first year, your freshman year. Then you start all 15 your sophomore year. You had to earn that right to be on the field at a program like Alabama. What was that experience like for you? And how does that relate to now you go from being the man at Alabama? And obviously, look, there are big hopes for you, big plans for you to be that starting left tackle. But when you have to come back in and then kind of reprove yourself and earn that time.
Right. It was definitely a shock coming into college ball. Really, like you said, is having to earn what I came there for. It was definitely a big step in my life, but I feel like it'll be the same way coming into the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of great guys on the team, a lot of great guys throughout the league, but it'll be nothing but just work ethic and hard work for me to, kind of reestablish myself and actually make something of myself, and I hope to do that.
I know you do, and one of the big things I'm sure everybody wants to know about, how's that transition going from being a right tackle to a left tackle? I know you've had a lot of great advice from Bill Callahan, who's helped people do that very successfully in the NFL. I know Joe Thomas has been in touch with you, but how is that transition going for you? Does it feel natural yet?
It's been feeling good, and I can say it is getting to feel natural. I've been working on it every day at workouts. Been sending videos in to Coach Callahan and to Joe T, and I'm really just working on it. It has to become second nature to me since it's a new job for me. But it's just something I got to continue to work on all the way up until camp and then to whenever the season comes here.
Well, Jedrick, we told our fans tonight it's all about them. It's Browns Live. They can use the hashtag Browns Live to get us questions for you and in our entire rookie class. And they have done that. They have sent in a lot of questions. So let's get to some of those fan questions right now. The first one comes from Aaron Horn. He says, how does it feel to be back in the Midwest and have the chance to play close to home?
Man, Aaron, it feels great. I was very excited when I got drafted by the Browns. Closer to home, closer to family, so it'll be easier for them to make trips to come to the games. But it feels great knowing that I have people who are close to my home that support me.
All right, another fan question. This one from Winford Moore Jr. says, who is your favorite NFL legend growing up as a kid?
Oh, I have a couple. If I'm going to be honest, I'll probably say LaDainian Tomlinson. He was probably one of my favorite players growing up. I remember I had his cleats back in Little League. He was a great running back, a really great guy off the field as well.
Did you have running back aspirations as a young man?
No, I surpassed those when I was probably about 7. That kind of went out the window.
I could imagine you carrying the ball, being like some of those videos that go viral where you're just stiff-arming people, shoving them to the ground. I'm sure it would have been fun, though.
Right. I wish that was the case.
All right, we've got more fan questions. Again, use the hashtag Browns Live to get your questions in. This one from Tom says, what's on your game day playlist? What gets you hype before a big game?
Oh, definitely Lil Uzi Vert. Best artist in the game right now, in my opinion. Everybody's going to hate me for that, but he's my favorite artist. Key Glock, a little bit of Gunna, Lil Baby. I mean, pretty much some of the hottest people out right now. Young Thug, but the same people I've been listening to for forever. So they're all on my playlist.
Do you like to just get into that zone pregame and that music helps you get there?
Right, yeah. I feel like you see the two type of people. So you got the people who just like, they're by themselves in the corner listening to music. Then you got the singers who are just trying to get the energy, trying to get it going. I feel like I'm a little bit of both. It just depends.
When the mood strikes you, you sing. I love that. We'll be on the lookout for that. We got another fan question. Again, use the hashtag Browns Live and you can get your questions to our rookie class. This one from Jacob Kallman, and he says, which offensive lineman did you model your game after the most? Since clearly LaDainian Tomlinson, that was the legend you looked up to on the O-line side of things. who's the guy that you look up to?
Right. So unfortunately, I couldn't be like LT, but I really like Lyle Collins, who's in the league right now, plays for the Cowboys. I watched him growing up a little bit when he was at LSU, and then Cam Robinson. I was younger, going through the recruitment process while he was at Alabama. A really, really, really good lineman who plays for the Jaguars now. So I feel like those two guys are kind of my role models for offensive line.
All right. When you think about your rookie season, you take a look at that schedule that came out a few months ago. You see the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium, the Steelers Week 17, the finale. You get the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt coming to town, the Ravens, who were 14-2 a year ago, the Bengals down from Southern Ohio, close to Kentucky. What's the game really on our schedule at First Energy Stadium maybe that you're looking forward to the most?
If you want to be honest, all of them. I know the fans are going to bring it week in and week out. It's going to be an amazing experience. But if you want to be honest, probably the first game of the year, like actually playing against Lamar. I watched him playing like when he was in college, and then of course last year in the league and whatnot. But I feel like it's going to be a great, kind of see him in person, see him in action.
Yeah, and then we get the Ravens in December, Monday Night Football at First Energy Stadium. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jedrick, great spending some time with you tonight. Thank you for taking time to join us on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan, and I can't wait to see you up here in Berea and see you getting to work and get ready for this 2020 season.
Yes, sir, most definitely. Thank you for having me, and I'm more than excited to get to work. I'm ready to get it rolling.
We can't wait to see it. Jedrick, thank you so much. And from Jedrick Wills, the 10th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, we go to the man who is the architect of your Cleveland, General Manager Andrew Berry, joining us now on Browns Live, presented by ManCan. AB, how are you doing? Thanks so much for being with us here tonight.
I'm doing well. I appreciate you having me, Nate. How are you doing this evening?
Doing very well. Looks like you're out there at the facility. Sunny, it's looking good. It is great to see. And we're going to talk about this draft class, obviously. It's Browns Live, Meet the Rookies. But there's something more important than football going on in the world right now. And there are a lot of issues around social justice, a movement to try to right some of the inequities that have plagued not only our country, but our world for hundreds of years. And this is something that really resonated with you. And I know it's something that made you say, look, I'm not just going to sit here and do my own thing. I'm going to be a part of a big solution. Why did this resonate with you so much and really compel you to have significant action on this front?
Yeah, so for me, part of it just, I really struggled with everything that was going on in the country for really the past couple of weeks. And I know it wasn't just me, it was, family, friends, and then really even people across, our organization, internally. And so from my perspective, it just wasn't enough to express, outrage or condemnation for everything that we've seen go on for the past few weeks, but actually try and get up and engage with the issue and be proactive in creating a positive change, not only within our local communities, but across the country.
And so that's what you did. You wrote a very powerful internal email to our entire organization. And I can tell you personally, it impacted me. It made me not only want to commit my time, but also my money to helping right these wrongs and to be a part of the solution, to be the solution, as you said. How have you seen the response from our organization to that very powerful email, that call to action that you sent to all of us with the Browns?
Yeah, the response has been terrific. I couldn't be more proud of our organization in terms of not only the number of people that are using their time and talents to get involved in pushing positive change in terms of the issue of racial injustice, but also just the quality of the involvement. Whether it's time, resources, you name it. It's really been. The response has been overflowing, and it's been incredibly humbling, and I'm excited about what positive impact we're able to affect, with our platform in Cleveland.
And it's been something pretty special. It's from all levels of the organization, all the way to the top with ownership, who has been very supportive of what you wrote, and anybody who's contributed, they've said, you know what, we're going to match that and do good. How does it make you feel to work for an organization where you have that support beneath you, above you, for those few people that are on your level, et cetera?
Yeah, it makes me feel incredibly proud, Nathan, because really, ever since the Haslams have owned the team, the organization has been very proactive in terms of creating and affecting positive change within our local communities. And to see that commitment from the top, and like you mentioned, across all levels of the organization, is it's really exactly what we're looking for, and is what's going to help us move this in a positive direction as we go forward.
I know there are a lot of people that are watching right now that are sitting at home and they're saying, well, what can I do? How can I be the solution? You see at the bottom of the screen right now, we have a website, browns.com/be the solution. That's a start, certainly, AB, but what would you recommend people sitting at home saying, I know that I got to get involved. I got to be on the right side of history here. What can I do?
Yeah, and we see that a lot for people who are very passionate, or the issue resonates with them, but just figuring out where to begin. And that's one area that we really want to support, because for us, it's really about three specific areas. Number one, education. Number two, dialogue on the topic. And then number three, most importantly, it's deliberate action in terms of how you can actually get involved within your local communities, because there are a number of organizations, initiatives across the Cleveland area for people to contribute their time and their talents to support the cause. And that's something that we want to empower people to do, with our platform, here in Cleveland.
When you become the general manager, you run a football operation, one of 32 people. You are the youngest general manager in NFL history. And yes, a lot of it's about shaping the roster to build a championship team. And that's one of your goals. But this is also your first opportunity to run really your own organization and to staff it how you want to and create the culture that you want to. And clearly diversity, a huge part of what you want to do. We saw the news about the female scouts that you have hired and just the diversity you've brought into our building, something that the Haslams have done for years, but this was your opportunity, and clearly it was important. Why is that diversity of your staff so important to you?
Yeah, I think for us, it's really our success comes down to people, right? We want to bring as many quality people on the field, off the field as we can, to make sure that we can have as much success as possible as a football team. And to find great people, they come from all different walks of life. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different races, different genders, have different experiences. And those differences help as we make decisions, because people bring different perspectives and they bring different skill sets to what are very challenging problems from a front office perspective. So for us, it's really been about identifying the best people possible, and we're going to look everywhere to find those individuals.
And certainly as we transition from all of that great work, and again, please see the website at the bottom of your screen, and it was browns.com/be the solution, and be a part of this movement to bring greatness to our world, something that certainly we all deserve, that kind of social justice, that equality that we're striving for. But as you know, it takes everybody to make that happen. In the NFL, it starts with the trenches, right? We opened the show, Jedrick Wills. Coming up next is going to be Nick Harris. Clearly that was important. You brought in Jack Conklin, that offensive line. What do you expect from our two young rookies, though, Jedrick, Nick Harris, when you brought them into this organization?
Yeah, we think both of those guys are very talented young players. They fit the mold for what we're looking for in our offensive system. Athletic guys, tough, great finishers, very smart, and then they're also fantastic people and professionals, off the field. So those are two guys that we have very high expectations and hopes for, and think those guys can contribute for us, over the long run of their careers. And we think they're the right fit both on the field and off the field for our organization.
All right, truth serum question. Who was more excited when Jedrick Wills was on the board at number 10, you or Joe Thomas?
I have to say me, but it's probably a very close call. I would say we had a lot of excited people within our draft room and within our organization, because as we've mentioned before, we didn't expect Jedrick to be there, but we were excited to hand in the card when we found out that he was going to be on the board when we were picking.
AB, thanks so much for joining us tonight on Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCamp. But more importantly, thank you so much for your leadership and what you're doing in this community, really in this country, and trying to use your platform to bring real change and meaningful change to this world, a world that needs it, unfortunately.
Appreciate it, Nathan, and happy to be on, and thank you for having me.
All right, General Manager Andrew Berry, but we are just getting started, folks. We still have more than an hour to come. Meet this rookie class. Next up, it is Nick Harris when Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan, continues.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our 2020 Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Award.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Are you on me? Are you on me?
Browns fans, don't miss your chance to see the Browns play at First Energy Stadium this year. 2020 Browns single game ticket inventory is limited and will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, so don't miss out.
Touchdown, Landry!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets to place your orders.
Welcome back to Browns Live Meet the Rookies, brought to you by Antonio's. What goes better with your man can than an Antonio's thin and crispy Rustico pizza for only $13.99 when you use the promo code 092. That's promo code 092. If you've not already ordered your pizza for this party, give them a call and tell them that the Browns sent you. Antonio's Man Can. That is a match made in heaven. The match made in heaven happened for the Browns in the 5th round this year when they were able to select Nick Harris out of Washington. Let's see why the Browns wanted Nick Harris. All right, Nathan Zagura back with you here on Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by Man Can. And I am joined now by a man who can get the job done, Nick Harris. And Nick, I've certainly enjoyed getting to meet you, from the Dog Pound Pop Quiz to the Working From Home series. And I'm excited for the rest of the Browns fans to really get to meet you here tonight. How are you doing, man? How's everything going this offseason for you?
Everything's going good. You know, I'm glad that I'm a Cleveland Brown, and I'm just excited to get to work. And you know, everything's been good. Everything's been rolling. I've been, you know, nose deep in the playbook, just trying to learn and just trying to, you know, find my way.
And listen, folks, you're going to see a very, very nice man, a very intelligent man, but don't let that fool you. When you go watch his tape, this guy is nasty. When did you realize that you could just flip that switch like that?
I mean, I think it was just in high school. You know, I learned that you gotta flip that switch when you get on the field, and you gotta just activate a different side of you that, you know, needs to come out and just to play the position of O-line. So definitely high school was when I learned how to, you know, flip that switch and get activated once I get on that field.
Speaking of high school, or maybe even let's go back before that, as a young man, did you play a lot of different sports? You know, what were you into, and when was it clear to you that, okay, football, that's my sport?
I've been playing football since I was 6, and that's pretty much the main sport I was playing throughout my whole life, pretty much. I played basketball here and there, stopped growing, so that dream got shut down. So it's just mostly been football, for sure.
So you go back to high school, you come out of that, you have one offer from an FBS school at Washington. You end up going there with one of your high school teammates. What was that like to go into that new environment, but to be able to go with somebody that you knew very well?
Oh, it was definitely a blessing. You know, me and Luke, who was my high school teammate that we ended up going to school together. It was definitely cool experience to play next to him in high school and in college. And, you know, that our bond just grew off of that. You know, he's also a good football player too. So it was definitely cool to have somebody in that transition that I knew going to the same school as me.
What was your favorite memory of your time playing for the Huskies?
Oh, without a doubt, the Apple Cup my junior year. You know, we were playing Washington State in Pullman. It was snowing. It was cold, so all we really could do was run the ball. We kept running the same like 3 plays, and it was everything a lineman wanted in football. Just running the ball, just eating up the clock, and just kind of dismantling your opponent. So that was definitely, and we came out with a big win. So that was definitely my most fond memory.
Well, I've got good news for you. If your best memory from college came playing in the snow, you might have that opportunity here with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, hey, that's fine with me. I like playing in those conditions. So, coming from SoCal, you don't really play in snow that often. So it's definitely pretty fun, and I like it because kind of have to play a little man football.
Exactly. As you say, get in those trenches and dominate your opponent. That's something anybody who watches your tape, they will see that. And, you started your college career at guard, ended up moving to center, 2-time all Pac-12 center those final 2 years. What caused that transition to be made? And when did you say, man, this is where I belong right here as the quarterback of this offensive line?
Oh, I mean, it was in recruitment. I got recruited as a center, even though I didn't play center in high school. Obviously with my height, and that stuff. So, it was a seamless transition. Learn how to snap the ball wasn't too hard. Learn how to take command of the O-line and the offense. My last 2 years, it just came natural, honestly, to be completely honest. So it wasn't that much that hard of a transition. Actually, it was a pretty fun one. And I'm glad I did, because I think that position, it just naturally fits, who I am and how I play.
Who are the centers once you made that transition? Were there any centers that you emulated or that you like to watch a lot of tape of or to kind of model your game after?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, this first one that comes to mind is just Jason Kelsey. I watched a lot of his tape just because he's a more undersized guy. And I just like how he blocks in space, how he uses his hands. He's a technician, so definitely somebody I modeled my game after for sure. Different guys. Honestly, anybody I could take a tip from, I would watch just to advance my game at center.
Well, Nick, tonight, Browns Live Meet the Rookies presented by ManCan is all about our fans, and we gave them the opportunity to submit questions, and they still are using the hashtag Browns Live for all of our rookie class. We got a lot of questions for you, so let's get to some of those fan questions right now. First comes from Joseph Joy, says, hello, Nick. Have you been able to use your recruitment in high school as well as your size as major motivators between college and now starting your NFL career?
Oh, most definitely. It's always something I carry with me. It just keeps I keep that chip on my shoulder. Because obviously in recruitment, not a lot of people took a chance on me. So I like to prove people wrong, keep that chip on my shoulder, and then I like to play like that. So definitely something I keep in the back of my mind, and I want to prove a lot of people wrong who said I couldn't make it to this point, and it's going from there.
Well, you have proved them wrong, and I look forward to you to proving anybody else you think is doubting you going forward wrong as well. We have another fan question coming in tonight on Browns Live from Jackie, and says, what will you bring from your college career that will carry over into your NFL career?
I think just my energy, just the way I carry myself on the field. I love playing this game, and it's been a big emphasis on in my college career just to be consistent. I'm day in and day out with that energy. In the thick of things, sometimes you can get down, and sometimes you can kind of lose that energy you have. So definitely keeping that consistent energy and just being myself, honestly, on the field, and it helps me play better when I can be myself and execute when I can.
Well, if consistency is what you were after, you certainly had it. Back-to-back all Pac-12 selections. I think nearly 1,000 pass blocking snaps, only 2 sacks allowed. That's kind of consistency that I think anybody would want to see out of a guy in the middle of their offensive line. Let's get one more fan question here on Browns Live Meet the Rookies from Travis. Says, I enjoyed watching you at the Combine. Your snap and first step quickness really stood out. Can you talk about how important that aspect is to playing center? Thanks and good luck this season. I'll even add a little caveat to that, especially in this system, right, Nick?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely in this system, it's important, it's imperative, to be athletic and make sure you can win with your first step quickness and just your hat speed and how you move. So it's definitely something I think will translate well, and something I definitely even need to improve on. I'm not there yet, so it's something I definitely want to improve on, and just take it to the next level. And definitely, I think it'll be highlighted in this offense, and I'm excited, honestly, just to see how it translates and how I play translate into the next level.
All right, I'm sure you've looked at the schedule. You've seen all the people that are be coming to Cleveland First Energy Stadium. And you got the Steelers. I mentioned the Texans and Deshaun Watson. They went to the playoffs a year ago. Good defense on the other side for that Texans team. But are there any games on that Browns schedule that have really stood out to you that you're really excited about?
Honestly, I mean, all of them. I'm just anxious just to get going. Honestly, the first game, it's a big game for everyone. So I'm definitely excited just to see what the energy's like. Just excited to, honestly put cleats on and play football again. So I'm excited for all of the games, to be completely honest. But if I had to give one answer, it'd be that first game for sure, just to see the energy in that stadium.
Everybody's ready to get rolling. Well, Nick, it's been great getting to know you from afar. Very eager for you to get here to Berea and get to meet you in person and introduce you to our fans and, of course, our entire team. See you guys get out there and start to work on what should be a great 2020 season. Thanks so much for the time. Thanks for joining us on Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan.
No, thank you. I appreciate the time, and, I'm ready. I'm excited to get to work. So, go Browns.
Go Browns is right. Speaking of you guys, we want to keep you involved. You've seen your questions asked live on Browns Live, so keep going. Use the hashtag Browns Live. Get your questions in for our rookie class. And speaking of our rookie class, we have two of them. LSU Tigers, national champions. It's a two-for special. Grant Delpit, Jacob Phillips, they are coming up next here on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies, brought to you by Antonio's.
And grabbing fists, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our 2020 Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Award.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Browns fans, don't miss your chance to see the Browns play at First Energy Stadium this year. 2020 Browns single game ticket inventory is limited and will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, so don't miss out.
Touchdown, Landry!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets to place your orders.
Antonio's Pizza delivers doubles. Order 2 medium one-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each, or make it a large for just $12.99. Download our new Antonio's Pizza app and order 2 of your favorite one-topping pizzas at a special low price. Choose our no-contact delivery and let one of our in-house team members deliver the deliciousness right to your front door. 2 handmade one-topping pizzas fresh out of our 470-degree oven for a low price of $9.99 each for 2 mediums, or get 2 large for just $12.99 each.
Welcome back to Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan. Awesome wine, delicious. What a glorious wine in a can. ManCan, be sure to check that out. Speaking of glorious, I don't know if there was a bigger reaction on day 2 of the draft, certainly from yours truly and from many Browns fans, when the Browns made the selection of Grant Delpit. Let's see why. There he is, Grant Delpit, the Tatum Award winner as the best defensive back in the country last year. Grant, thanks for being with us on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies.
What's up, man? How's it going?
It is going well, and it's a rhetorical question, but what's better than one national champion from LSU? How about two? Let's just bring him in right now. Your teammate, Jacob Phillips. Let's see. All right, and there they are, the two national champions, the teammates with us. As I said, the best defensive back in the country, the leading tackler in the SEC. And gentlemen, I know a lot of people in Cleveland were very happy to see you guys brought here. So let's just start with one. And Grant, you'll start first. What was your reaction when you knew you were coming here? We'll get into the LSU connections before that, but then just later on that night, you know Jacob is coming to the Browns with you as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't watching the draft when he got picked, but because I was still with my family, celebrating. And then we saw his name, we heard his name on the TV, and we were trying to see what team he went to, and it was the Browns. And we were just, my grandma, she was very happy. Everybody was happy in the house that we get to link up again. So it's gonna be fun.
And Jacob, for you, when you saw that it was the Browns and you knew you were going with your teammate Grant Delpit, you knew Greedy Williams, your teammate from the year before, was here. What was that like for you?
It was just an amazing feeling, obviously, getting that call and, seeing that it's the Browns and then thinking about, all I knew about the Browns and, how passionate the fans are. And it's a team that, is ready to win. So I was just real happy about that. And then having my old teammates there, that was just a bonus.
Listen, we got basically a basketball team worth of guys from LSU. Now you've got Odell, you've got Jarvis, we've got you, Grant, we've got you, Jacob, we've got Greedy as well. Has that been something you guys have already started talking about, that we're turning this into the LSU of the North here?
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about talking to Browns right now, in my opinion.
It's an exciting thing. And speaking of basketball, Jacob, am I right that I heard that they did a dunk contest and that you may have been a champion?
Oh, yeah, I won that.
What'd you do?
It was all about being creative. Everybody can dunk, so I live out
Not
in the
everybody
country
can
and I
dunk,
put up.
yes.
Yeah, but I put up something like a little basket on a tree, and I went and dunked on it. But I won.
You certainly did win. You guys also won last year, as I said, the national championship at LSU. Playing in big games on the biggest stage in college football. That's what the SEC provides. You guys did that. You play in the national championship. You win that. How will that help you coming forward into the NFL, knowing you've already played under those bright lights? Jacob, I'll start with you.
I think it's a real big, plus, even playing in the national championship game, before we got there, we played in so many big games that, it was basically kind of normal. And, going to the next step, taking it to the NFL, a lot of rookies, they see the bright lights and, most of the times they probably freeze up about that. But for me and Grant, we've been in tons of big games through our career at LSU. And, I think we'll be comfortable.
Yeah, and Grant, for you, listen, you got to wear the prestigious number 7. Anybody who knows anything about LSU football knows what that means. And so you've had that pressure, the pressure competing for a national championship, all of that. How does that help you in this transition?
Yeah, like Jacob said, we've been, time tested coming from the SEC and really playing in those big games. It's definitely helped us a lot as far as a mental and physical state. But everybody knows the league is different, man. Everybody themselves again. We haven't experienced it yet, so it's like everybody's still really in the same, starting blocks, really starting off with no experience. So it's really how you come into it in first impressions. So that's now trying to learn the defense and really come together.
I know that there's nothing more than a rookie wants is to be able to get on the field and to show the veterans, look, I belong. And in this offseason, you guys haven't been able to do that yet. But what's this offseason process been like for you guys with these virtual mini camps? Grant, especially for you coming in here with a real opportunity at safety.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good getting to know the coaches, getting to know the players. Even though it's through Zoom, still really just trying to connect with everybody. Making sure everybody's on the same page when we get in late July. So we're really ready for it. I think that it's coming to an end this week. It's been great, but it's time to get to work now.
And Jacob, for you, this room, your linebacker coach spoke to the media today and said, look, it's wide open. Everything is up for grabs. When you come into a room that young with that much opportunity, what's your mindset been this offseason? And I'm sure you're very eager to get on the field and show what you could do. As I mentioned, SEC's leading tackler, folks, 113 tackles, only a couple missed tackles all year long.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a fortunate position, and I've just been trying to take advantage of that throughout this mini camp process, virtually. Getting in the playbook, trying to learn as much as I can, ask as many questions as I can, and make sure when we get together and can actually have practice that I'm not also trying to learn the plays or get in shape or doing things like that. I'm putting everything together.
As we've told y'all who are watching Browns Live Meet the Rookies presented by ManCan, it's all about you. Use that hashtag Browns Live and you can get your questions directly to our rookie class. And guys, we've got some of those questions. We'll alternate with you. The first one up here is for you, Grant, and it comes from Adam. He says, what is your biggest motivation to work harder than the average person?
Oh, the fear of being average. That should be for anybody. It's definitely for me. I don't want to be average. I don't want to be just another guy come through the league or just another guy that's played college. That comes with little things. I know me and Jacob feel the same way. It's really just the want to be great, the want to be legendary, and the fear of being average.
All right, our next fan question for you, Jacob. And it comes to us from Jack. It says, Jacob, do you feel you're better suited for playing inside or outside linebacker? And I know when I talked to Jacob, he said you're learning all the positions, trying to make an impact wherever you can.
Yeah. So being in a 4-3, most of the linebackers, they all share kind of similar jobs. So, it's kind of different rather than inside or outside. I feel like we're all inside, but, regardless of that, I feel like I had the talents to, be able to play both inside or outside.
All right, we have another fan question here on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies from Brian Grant. He says, which pro player, past or present, do you think your playing style most resembles?
Yeah, a lot of people ask this question. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know who. I know the guys I've watched in the past. I don't think they play exactly like me. I don't want to compare myself to anybody in the league that my play resembles because I haven't been there yet. So I don't really know. I aspire to be one of the greatest, to ever play the game at my position. So I have to take nuggets from all the guys from the past. I'm working with Ryan Clark right now. He's doing great, teaching me, what it is to really be a pro. So just being a pro every day and taking little things for all those guys. So I don't really know to answer your question.
All right, I'll flip it around then. Who are some of the guys that you like to emulate or that you said you take pieces from a lot of different guys' games? Whose games do you really like and respect?
Yeah, I said this before. I think when I got drafted, but I watched Ed Reed kid growing up. He was the prime star player in my life at my position, safety. And it's kind of like seeing him as my favorite player on the defensive side. It's kind of show to the future what position I might play. It's crazy how I ended up playing safety. So just seeing him, being down, being able to come down and hit, play the middle of the field, pick sixes, make plays all over the field. I know he's a Ravens guy. I'm sorry, but that was probably the guy that I looked up to.
Don't you worry about that. You go out there and you play like Ed Reed. There's going to be no issues with that whatsoever, Grant. Don't you worry about that. All right, our next question here for Jacob from Mike. Jacob, coming into the draft, one of your strong suits was that you were characterized as a sure tackler with very few yards after contact. What is the method you use for tackling? What's your secret? What's made you such a good tackler?
Really just working on it. Going back and watching, your film from previous years, or even the camps leading up into the season, and figuring out what's like the little things that you do or can do when you make tackles and when you miss the tackles, and just trying to keep that inside out approach, and using my length to make sure I can wrap up and get the ball carried down.
All right, our final fan question, and this one is for both of you. Again, use the hashtag BrownsLive to get your questions in here tonight. From William, says, if you intercept Joe Burrow and he's the last player between you and a pick six, is there any chance he's tackling you in the open field? Grant, we'll start with you.
Running Joe. Running around Joe. Joe's a great athlete, though, so it's going to be hard to get around, but I'm going to do my thing. Joe's not going to tackle me in the open field. I don't know about Jacob,
remember that. Jacob, he's not tackling you,
I'm
is
the
he?
one with the pick six, though.
He do have pick six.
He's not tackling me, though. I'm stiff-arming Joe.
Speaking of that, I would imagine is that the home game you guys are most looking forward to, the home opener, week 2, the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, man. First game.
I can't wait for that game.
The home game is the Browns. Can't wait. That's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
Gentlemen, we certainly appreciate you being with us here tonight. We're so excited. We got not just one, but 2 more guys from LSU, and excited to see what you guys can do for the Browns. Stay safe, and certainly looking forward to seeing you guys get up here in Berea and get ready for this 2020 season.
Can't wait.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Grant Delpit, Jacob Phillips. We still are rolling here, though. It's Browns Live. Meet the Rookies. It's presented by ManCan. And again, let me flip this around. There it is. ManCan. Oh, delicious. This is what I like to call the brosé, by the way. It is delicious in the summer when it gets a little hotter. You get that chill brosé right there from ManCan. It's fantastic. So get yourself one. Settle in. We still have 45 minutes to go here on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies. Coming up next, it's going to be a guy that was an award winner in college, a tight end, Harrison Bryant. Next on Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan.
When I got to the Cleveland Browns, I felt I was the best receiver by far.
And I left my blocking and I cut up, and somebody hit me that I never saw, and you can hear the crowd go, ooh. So I get up and the guy helps me up, and he says, welcome to the NFL.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of ManCan Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our 2020 Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Award.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
Just got my new jersey from the Browns.
And it looks like we're going a little bit more traditional this year. Heck yeah.
Oh, I like the white one. Back to the good old days.
Welcome back to Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan. And it is time now to meet a guy who was an award winner in college, the Mackey Award winner as the best tight end in the nation. He was the Browns' 4th round pick. Let's take a look at the skills of Harrison Bryant. All right, and here he is joining us. Look at him in the Indians hat. What a fine choice there, tight end Harrison Bryant. Harrison, great to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing very well. It's been a pleasure getting to know you this offseason. Excited for our fans here on Browns Live Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan, to get to know you as well. Let's just go way back to a young Harrison Bryant. What sports did you play growing up?
Growing up, I was a big baseball guy. Played a little basketball, and then really in high school found the love for football, and that's when I kind of transitioned. My main focus to football was in high school.
All right, but as a youngster on the diamond, what position did you play? Who was your hero? Who was your baseball hero growing up?
A little third base, a little first base, but always up I was a keeper.
All right, and then you decide in high school it's going to be football for you. When did you know that was the spot and that was the sport that you had a chance to accomplish something great, which you certainly have?
Really not until after my junior year of high school. I made the transition over to tight end, and really after the first few games, my senior year of high school, I really knew that I was pretty good at tight end, and then it worked out for me.
So how did that recruitment process go for you? How'd you end up at Florida Atlantic, and what was the decision behind that brought you to FAU?
In high school, wasn't very highly recruited. Was committed to Samford University, a FCS school, to play defensive end, and their OC went over to FAU, and he called me and asked me if I would like to play tight end about 2 weeks before signing day, and I said of course. And FAU was my only FBS offer, and that's really how I ended up there.
So is he, when you get drafted, and we'll talk about the Mackey Award and all that and the 1,000-yard season, does he say, hey, remember when I told you, come on over here and play some tight end? That's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, still pretty well. My tight end the past 3 years, his trick at, but he's still to this day, and just how proud of me and him for really giving me that opportunity.
What did it mean to you to be the first non-Power 5 conference tight end to win the Mackey Award last year, which is recognized as the best tight end in the nation?
It was amazing accomplishment. Obviously, great coaching staff, great teammates, and a lot of hard work went into it. But just to be able to accomplish that, not only for myself but my teammates and just that university, did a lot for me. It was a great accomplishment, and it was a really fun year last year, winning conference championship and picking up that award.
And not only that, going over 1,000 yards, something a tight end hadn't done since 2013. When you sit back and think about that, does that kind of boggle your mind a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind. Actually, in the conference championship game, it was after halftime, and I was out of the game, and somebody on the sideline said I was like 3 yards short of 1,000. So they were about to throw me back in to get a few more yards, and Coach Kiffin was like, just catch the ball and run out of bounds. But come to find out a few seconds later, I actually already had the 1,000 yards. So definitely a cool accomplishment, and a lot of hard work went into it.
A lot of hard work. That's pretty cool, though, that they were going to say, let's get you in there and get you that catch to get you over 1,000.
Yeah, he was like, just go in. I'm going to give you a play. Just get the 3 yards and just dive out of bounds.
So you make this transition now to the NFL. And listen, I've talked to a lot of people, even Austin Hooper, 2-time Pro Bowler, in your room. And he said, that's one of the toughest transitions because you need to know everything. You need to be a part of all the protection meetings. You need to be involved in the run game. And you need to also know all the passing game concepts. You really have to know everything that's going on as a tight end. And you haven't had the opportunity to get on the field. So how is kind of from the mental standpoint, how has this gone for you this year?
So far this offseason, really good. With the Zoom meetings, with Coach Petzing and all the other tight ends, me and Nate Whiting, the other rookie tight end, we meet extra with him after. So 2 hours a day, usually Monday through Wednesday, we're meeting with Coach Petzing, and it's been really good. Like you said, got to know the passing, run, the protection. So you really got to know every formation, because with certain personnel, you can end up lining up anywhere on the field.
Absolutely. You could be in line, you could be in the slot, you could be in the backfield, you could be all over the place. This is a very tight end friendly offense, and I think that's why so many people were excited to see the Browns get you here in the 4th round of the 2020 draft. And our fans are excited, and they've used hashtag Browns Live, and we've got questions for you, Harrison, from our fans. Let's get to the first one right now from Thomas. It says, playing at FAU in the warm weather, what will you do to adjust to the cold weather games in Cleveland?
I've only played one game, maybe. I mean, it was nothing like the cold it'll be here, but it was a pretty chilly game, and I feel like I had a good game. And for me, really, it's not going to be a difference. No sleeves, just go out there and tough it out and play ball.
And listen, one of your best games took place in the state of Ohio against the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know that was a big one for you, and a lot of people think that really puts you on the map, going 6 for 79 against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, so it was beautiful, but like you said, it was for me. Talent evaluators. That's the first game they're going to put on against one of the best teams in the country. So I knew I had to go out and play very well. Start off the game a little slow, but ended with a really good game.
All right, let's get one more fan question in here for Harrison from Ben. If you could have one ability or attribute from any current or former NFL tight end, what would it be?
I would definitely have to say probably Gronk with just his playmaking ability. All the big games that you see the Patriots in, he's always there making a huge clutch play or, a play for them to win Super Bowl. So, just to have that clutch play, just have that playmaker ability and make him consistent like he does would be huge.
We certainly hope that would come to fruition. I think that'd be great for everybody, for you and the Browns and Browns fans alike. Final question for you, Harrison, is when you look at this schedule, I know, look, everybody's excited about the first game to get their first NFL experience, but is there anything that you're looking forward to? You've heard about the rivalry between the Browns and the Steelers. That's week 17. That could be a game with big implications at First Energy. Is there anything that's jumped out to you or had a personal meaning to you on this schedule?
Nothing really. Really just that first game, and then obviously the first home game. My high school coach, he actually played for this. He was drafted by the Steelers, so that'll mean a little something. We'll be, I'm sure, texting and talking before that game. But he's on my side, so he'll definitely be rooting for us.
Absolutely. Week 17, the home finale, the finale of the season against Steelers. Hopefully that will be a big game this year. Harrison, we appreciate the time. Looking forward to getting to see you in person, get out on the grass with your team, and get ready for this 2020 season.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right. Coming up on Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by Delicious Man Can. Donovan Peoples-Jones will be with us next, so don't go anywhere. Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, coming right back.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our 2020 Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Award.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
What's up? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? You good?
Kids should be rewarded for, the hard work and efforts in school. My pops would always say, no aid, no play.
You can learn something new every single day. Each and every day is as important as the last one.
The partnership with the Browns Foundation has been phenomenal. Every day there's loss when students aren't in school. So we're trying to get that message out to families with the Browns to let them know that we need them to stay in the game so that they can earn the living and earn the wages that they desire in their dream.
$100,000. Attacking chronic absenteeism became really important to us in Cleveland. Encouraging kids to be in the classroom so that they can also achieve their dreams.
It means everything. It's really a dream come true for me, be able to come back to schools in Cleveland and be able to give back.
Antonio's Pizza delivers doubles. Order 2 medium one-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each, or make it a large for just $12.99. Download our new Antonio's Pizza app and order 2 of your favorite one-topping pizzas at a special low price. Choose our no-contact delivery and let one of our in-house team members deliver the deliciousness right to your front door. 2 handmade one-topping pizzas fresh out of our 470-degree oven for a low price of $9.99 each for 2 mediums, or get 2 large for just $12.99 each.
All right, we're back. It's Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, and it's presented by Man-Can. And joining us now is a guy that I'm telling you, the fans were fired up about it. A lot of buzz about this Browns rookie. Let's take a look at why everybody's excited about Donovan Peoples-Jones. And we're very happy now to be joined by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Welcome to Browns Live, Meet the Rookies. Good to see you again, man. How you been doing? How's the offseason treating you? All right, Donovan, we can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted right now or maybe it's on our side of things. But we are very happy to have you. And certainly, look, we're all excited about this guy. This was the #1 recruit at wide receiver coming out of high school. He's from Detroit, goes to Michigan, knows this region of the country very, very well. And a guy that a lot of people, were surprised was available when the Browns were able to get him. 6'2", runs a 4.4 40. He's got a 42-inch vertical leap. And as you saw in that hype video there, he makes the big plays look routine, and he does it as a returner as well. 2 return touchdowns while at Michigan, was a freshman All-American as a returner. So he'll be able to contribute to this team immediately, whether it's as a receiver or as a returner when he gets here into Berea and gets ready to join the Cleveland Browns. And I know from talking to him, he's been working out with Jarvis Landry down in Florida. And that's a great thing, right? When you have those kind of resources, you have 2 of the best receivers in the game in Jarvis and Odell, as well as one of the most venerable wide receiver coaches in the game, Chad O'Shea, who spent so much time with the New England Patriots. He's also been a receivers coach and a passing game coordinator, offensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins. And Donovan's one of those guys that you don't see talent like that available later in the draft. And the Browns got lucky, I think, to get him. And I think his best football is still very much ahead of him. And you look at this wide receiver room, it's a room with a lot of opportunity. This is definitely an offense that's going to run 2 receivers more often than not. Not a lot of 3 receiver in this offense. But you look at the top of this wide receiver room with Odell and Jarvis, obviously multiple-time Pro Bowlers. Hollywood Higgins is back to walk the red carpet again. And then behind that, I think there's a lot of opportunity. Damian Ratley entering his 3rd year for the Browns, a former 6th-round pick who had 200 yards last season, which was a career high for him. He showed promise. Taywan Taylor was a former 3rd-round pick of the Tennessee Titans who had nearly 500 yards in 2018 for them, but didn't get a lot of opportunity for the Browns. And then Kaderil Hodge, who played not only special teams, but did some receiving. So there's opportunity there. And none of them have the pedigree of our guest, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who we welcome back in to the program now. And Donovan, for you, we were just talking about the offseason and what it's been like, getting an opportunity to work out with Jarvis down in Florida. How's everything been going for you in this virtual offseason?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you loud and clear.
All right, we good. There we go.
Yes, sir.
But like I was saying, everything's been going well. Just training, getting adjusted to everything I can honestly learn at this point right now while everything's virtual. Trying to stay connected with my teammates while everything's virtual. So it's been an adjustment, but it's been something that, I'm very excited for. And I can't wait. So, yeah.
And we can't wait to see it. And look, this region. You went to Cass Tech in Detroit. You go to Michigan. This region. You know what football means here. Were you excited to be staying kind of close to home and here with the Cleveland Browns?
I couldn't be more excited. It's like I want to be in Cleveland. I can't wait. I feel like it's a really good fit, and I'm really excited.
You look at a rookie class, and a lot of people have very different paths to the NFL. Some of the guys we talked to, Nick Harris and Bryant, had 1 FBS offer. That was it. You were the #1 recruit in the country. So I have to ask, do you have shoe boxes full of recruiting letters? What was that like for you going through that process? All right. Unfortunately, we've lost his audio again, and I'm sure it was pretty crazy. I bet he was, man, that had to be something. Every school wanted you. He goes to Michigan following in his father's footsteps there, and now an opportunity to be here with the Cleveland Browns. And as I said, before we were able to get Donovan back, there's a lot of opportunity in this wide receiver room. There's a lot of unknown. And I think for a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's got a pedigree, as I said, the size, speed combos, ability to separate, to make spectacular catches look routine. He's got an opportunity, I think, to really be a player who is much better in the National Football League than he was in college. And I think in this offense, especially when you have gifts like that, you have a real opportunity. And speaking of this offense, we were talking with Andrew Berry earlier. We were talking about the moves that were made. And you look at what's happened to this offense. Last year, some struggles on the offensive line. What do? You go out, you get Jack Conklin, first-team All-Pro. Considered one of the best wide zone tackles in the NFL. He familiarity with the scheme from his time in Tennessee. We draft Jedrick Wills, who we kicked the show off with the 10th overall pick. You saw Joe Thomas's reaction. Again, great movement skills, familiar with the wide zone as well. And then you bring in Austin Hooper, 2-time Pro Bowl tight end. Austin Hooper grew up in Atlanta with Kyle Shanahan as all right, we're going to bring Donovan Peoples-Jones in, but Austin Hooper, he started in this scheme down in Atlanta, and so he knows it very well. We've got Donovan Peoples-Jones back, and Donovan, we got some fan questions. The fans were fired up when the Browns drafted you. I have to tell you, fired up, and I think when you see those highlight videos, for very, very good reason. So let's go to #BrownsLive, the fan questions, and get these in here for Donovan Peoples-Jones. The first from Patrick says, who's your inspiration for football?
Oh, wow. I mean, I started loving football at a very young age. Honestly, my first favorite player was Randy Moss and Marshall Faulk. I mean, my mom has videos of me 3-4 years old, just glued to the TV, just watching everything that they do. Even trying to emulate them in any way that I could, trying to emulate the, slow motion plays. And physics doesn't work like that. You can't really dive in slow motion and without doing it for real. So. Just those, I would say those two, Marshall Faulk, Randy Moss, and just everyone that I grew up with. We played football from a very young age, always was involved, and I just grew to like it, honestly.
When did you know you wanted to be a receiver? I mean, obviously you emulated Randy Moss, a tremendous athlete, and I'm sure, you could have played a variety of positions. When did you know it was wide receiver? Was it because of your love of Randy Moss that you said, I want to go out there and play receiver as well?
I think it was something about Randy Moss just catching a pass, catching a touchdown, going up over everybody, stretching the field. I wanted to be that. I really did.
All right, when you look at this, this area, this region, the history of a lot of these rivalries with the Browns. When you look at the schedule, was there anything that really jumped out to you that you were very excited about? You talk about at home, the division games, the Steelers, the Ravens on Monday Night Football, the Bengals Thursday Night Football, the Steelers, I said, to close the season out, Deshaun Watson and the Texans, J.J. Watt coming to town. Any of those games really jump out to you or have any special? I mean, I'm sure a Lions game would have been a big one for you, but other than that, anything really jump out to you?
Honestly, every team that isn't the Browns jumped out to me. So, yeah.
I like it. Motivated. You're ready. Donovan, we appreciate you joining us. Apologize for the technical difficulties. And certainly, I'll tell you, I know our fans are excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to see you get out there. In the draft process, you know this. You're one of the guys we were talking about all the time. And to see you get to come here with the Browns, we're fired up to see what you can do as a receiver, as a returner, and really just, I think, be your best self here with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. So excited. Thanks for everybody. And, yeah, I apologize about the technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. But
don't you worry about it, man. Don't worry about it at all. Donovan, we appreciate the time. We'll see you soon in Berea.
Yes, sir. See y'all. Thank you.
All right, when we return on Browns Live, meet the rookies. Only one rookie remains. We are going to meet Jordan Elliott, the defensive tackle from Missouri, and fan favorite, the Scottish Hammer, Jamie Gillan. He stops by. It's all still to come on Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan.
I'm Jason Gibbs.
I'm Andrew Gribble.
And this is the best podcast available.
You can listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts, or watch us on the Browns YouTube channel. You'll find interviews with Browns coaches, Browns players, and some of the best analysts in the business.
Center Nick Harris joins us.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You can check out interviews with all of the Browns draft picks.
Be sure to check it out. The best podcast available.
Browns fans, don't miss your chance to see the Browns play at First Energy Stadium this year. 2020 Browns single game ticket inventory is limited and will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, so don't miss out.
Touchdown, Landry!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets to place your orders.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fist.
And we're the founders of Man Can Wine.
And Graham and Fist, wine in a can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our 2020 Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Award.
Shipped right to your door.
Visit footballwine.com.
Order now.
First time back in the office in a little while, so it looks a little bit different, and there's some protocols in place, and obviously wearing the mask is something different, but I think we're all on board and making sure it's a safe return to work. We got to be adaptive to what we're going through right now. We have a plan kind of moving forward for the rest of this off-season program.
All right, welcome back. It's Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by Mankins. What a delicious, tasty treat right here. I can't wait for this show to be over so I can crack open this brosé and enjoy myself. But actually, let's keep the show going. We're having a lot of fun. Jordan Elliott still to come. The Scottish Hammer still to come. And for the Browns rookies, as we heard Grant Delpit say, they're wrapping up their virtual offseason. They'll have time off before they come back in late July for training camp, which should hopefully be the first time that this team is on the field together and starts their preparations for the 2020 season, which is going to be a lot of fun. Now, Jordan Elliott, a talented player the Browns got in the third round. He joins a defensive line room. And I talked earlier about the changes made on the offensive side of the ball. Clearly, the Browns wanted to address the defensive side of the ball, specifically the defensive line. As general manager Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski said, we've got to be good at the point of attack. And you think about some of the great defenses in the NFL. You think about the 49ers a year ago. By the way, that's where Joe Woods, our defensive coordinator, was last season as their secondary coach. And now our D-line coach and pass rush coordinator, Chris Kiffin, he was there as well. And they went out and they said, we're going to address this defensive line. And so they did it in free agency and in the draft. In free agency, the Browns bring in Adrian Claiborne, a former first-round pick, a former Super Bowl champion, a guy who once had 6 sacks in a game. That's right, in a game against the Dallas Cowboys. And then on the defensive and the interior of the line, you bring in Andrew Billings, who had been a starter for 4 years for the Cincinnati Bengals, a big, massive man in the middle of your defense, a guy who once broke Mark Henry's world's strongest man high school powerlifting records in the state of Texas. And they brought in Jordan Elliott as well from Missouri, who's a real disruptor and had the highest pass rush grade from Pro Football Focus among all interior defensive linemen over the last 3 years. So they want to be good up front because when you can get to the quarterback, then your playmakers on the back end in the middle of your defense, like Jacob Phillips, like Mac Wilson, Sione Takitaki, BJ Goodson, and then on the back end, it's Denzel Ward, it's Kevin Johnson, it's Greedy, it's Delpit, it's Carl Joseph, it's Sendejo. That's how they can make the plays. So that was a huge point of emphasis for this team this offseason, and you saw a lot of resources be allocated to not only the offensive line with Conklin and Wills, but the defensive line, bringing in Claiborne, Billings, and Jordan Elliott alongside the greats Myles Garrett, Olivier Vernon, Sheldon Richardson, Larry Ogunjobi. So I'm very excited to see what this defensive line room can do. But we've got a special guest for you. We told you, a fan favorite, the Scottish Hammer. And he joins us now on Browns Live, Meet the Rookies. And Hammer, we know you're not a rookie, but last year you were a rookie, an undrafted free agent. And often those players go on to greatness. There are a ton of undrafted free agents in the NFL Hall of Fame, and hopefully one day your rocket leg will propel you to such heights as a Gold Jacket. But what was it like for you coming into everything as an undrafted free agent and competing to try to make the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, it was just amazing, coming out of Arkansas Pine Bluff, a very small school. Lots of players get overlooked out of there. I was just extremely blessed to have the opportunity. So when I came in, just had a little chip on my shoulder, but I was ready to learn from Britain because, 10-year vet, phenomenal guy, phenomenal punter. So I was just excited to come in and kick about in the old NFL,
So for the people that don't know the story, because it's a remarkable story, and yes, you got to come in here with Britton Cole, a fine man, and you ended up winning the job from one of the best punters in the NFL. But how did it come to be that you even ended up here in Berea last year with the chance to be a part of the Cleveland Browns?
It all began kicking a couple of balls in Leonardtown. My coach, one of my best mates, Bryant, decided to go, all right, you're on the team, played 5 games, got a scholarship to Arkansas Pine Bluff through Facebook. I didn't know it was a historical black college until I got there. I thought HBCU was like a bank that sponsored it or something because I'm a big numpty. And then I got there, I was like, sweet, this is awesome, let's play some ball. And just ate a lot of food, tried to punt balls far, and then at the end of 4 years, I just kept telling myself, because I'm sacrificing rugby for this, I hope I get an opportunity. And then coming out of college, I wasn't really getting much looks, and then I somehow got in contact with my agent, Bardia, who is the best agent in the nation. I love him so much, and as soon as I got in touch with him, I ended up getting a bunch of phone calls. Prefer came out to watch me punt. I took him out to an Irish pub. We did not have Guinness, which sucked, and I didn't want him to be upset with me for having a pint, but we ate shepherd's pie, so it was good.
Which is a treat.
And then I came out to good old Berea and was just punting pig skins with alongside Britain, so it was good fun.
It was good fun, and listen, you've instantly become a cult sensation. But not only that, a ton of talent, and you also teach me something new every time I talk to you. A big numpty. I had not heard that phrase before. You certainly are no big numpty, sir. You're a fine man with a good head on your shoulders.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So, again, you find out you make the team, and then you do something that I don't know if a lot of people know about. Not only do you go on to win AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, not only do you hit a 71-yard punt during the season that was the 4th longest in the entire NFL last year, but you changed your punting style right before your debut in the National Football League. I think you went from, correct me if I'm wrong, from 3 steps to 2 steps, and you had never done it before, and you go out there and you win AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, I think week 2 of the season.
Yeah, wow, you put it like that, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I was just going through camp, and 3-step was working, but there was a lot of inconsistencies going on, and every time we stood at the back of the end zone, Coach Preep was like, right, make sure you 2-step this one. And it was always like pretty much a pretty good shell down the field. And he just always looks at me like, maybe he should be a 2-stepper. And then before practice, one of these days we're punting again, he's like, right, let's go 2-step. And all the punts were just looking as good as my 3 steps, if not better, And he's like, we're going to change you into a 2-step soon. I said, why don't we just do it now? I don't care. Like, this is like week 2 because I did a 3-step on the game 1. It was okay. It was a good game. And then midway through week 2, I was like, let's just do it brief. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I shank a punt and I go back to 3 steps. So he was like, all right, you sure? It's like, yeah. So we gave it a blast and ended up working out. And I'm way more comfortable doing it. And I trust Bree for my life and my punting. So, hey, I just went with it.
You just started hitting absolute rockets with the 2-step. Now, before I let you go, I do have to ask a fashion question. Obviously, you have the beautiful flowing locks there, and I'm sure you've seen what Austin has done with his bleached blonde mullet that he's cultivating. Is this something that is going to go throughout the specialist's room, or are you going to let him be on that island all alone?
He can have that island. I'm not hopping on that thing. I got one mullet going back here. You know what I'm saying? I got some disgusting mullets going on, but I'm not going blonde. Are you kidding me?
Well, Hammer, it is always a pleasure talking to you. One of the absolute best guys on the team, a fan favorite for very obvious reasons. And I know you're back in town. Can't wait to see you up at the facility when we're allowed to do so and see you get ready to hit some absolute rockets around in year number 2.
Awesome. I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the man known as the Scottish Hammer. We were talking earlier about the defensive line of the Browns and the moves that were made there to get this team to be strong up front, a lot of pass rush. Well, as we told you, Jordan Elliott, he is a big part of those plans. The Browns' third-round pick out of Missouri. Let's see some of the hype around Jordan. And here he is now, Browns' third-round pick defensive tackle, Jordan Elliott. Jordan, it's great to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's great to have you on Browns Live. Meet the Rookies, presented by ManCan. And Jordan, you are from Texas. When you were growing up, I know that's a football hotbed. Was it always all football for you, or did you play a lot of sports growing up?
Man, growing up, man, I played baseball, basketball, football. I very multifaceted. So, I was in everything. Then got to like middle school, kind of just locked in on football. So.
Oh, so you knew early on by middle school. Was it just we say, look, I'm bigger and more athletic than everybody? How did you decide that football was the one for you?
Well, I knew I wasn't tall enough for basketball, and I was kind of getting big. So, football was, my God's gift to me. So.
When you were young, who did you want to be as a football player?
I mean, honestly, LaDainian Tomlinson, like that's somebody I looked up to. When I was in Little League, I played running back. So, I had his cleats and all that. Like, it was just one of those things, one of those people I looked up to.
I remember talking to you about your running back career. And as we said, maybe we'll go little William Refrigerator Perry and get you a play on the offensive side of the ball. But I can't imagine you being tackled as a young man, Jordan.
Oh, yeah, man. I was probably the same speed, just a little bit smaller. So nobody could really stop me.
So LaDainian was a guy, though, if you're from Texas, played at TCU, obviously, went on to have an unbelievable NFL career, because you're not the first rookie on tonight's show that said the person they emulated growing up was LaDainian Tomlinson. So was he really kind of, if you were growing up in Texas around that time, was that the guy that was synonymous to you with Texas football?
I mean, yeah, like he's just an electric player. He's somebody that, scoring that many touchdowns, that's something that's crazy. So just seeing that's something that everybody want to do as a kid. It's every time you touch the ball, you want to score. So that was kind of the mindset that everybody had.
When did you realize that your destiny was to be not running the football, but stopping people from running the football or separating people from the football, whether it be quarterbacks or running backs?
When everybody around me stopped growing and I kept on growing, that's when I knew. So I played my role, did what I had to do.
When you go and look back on your college career, I mentioned before we had you on here, according to Pro Football Focus, you had the highest pass rush grade of any interior defensive lineman the last 3 years in college football. When did you realize you had a gift for rushing the passer, and who did you emulate? Who did you want to model your game after as that kind of interior disruptor?
I mean, honestly, Kenny Clark is somebody I look up to. Just his technique is real good. So that's somebody, like not even growing up, but just like in high school, seeing him play and seeing how he, how he worked. That's something I kind of wanted to do, emulate. So,
what's probably you think the biggest thing you learned throughout your college experience? And you started at Texas, finish at Missouri, get to wear number 1 for Mizzou last year, which is a big honor. Get drafted, but what kind of stood out to you? What did you learn that's going to make you think successful in the NFL during your time in college?
Man, just persevering. That's something that I feel like was a part of my story. Just sitting out a year and having to just be on scout team and and not really having a chance to play, with my guys, that's something that I kind of took to heart at first, but, I learned from it and learned that, at the end of the day, I can still find ways to help my teammates. So that's always been my mindset. So that's where I'm going now with it, just taking it with me to the NFL, just helping any way I can.
What's it like? And I know you want to meet these people in person, and I know it's tough to meet people over Zoom, but you come into a defensive tackle room where you've got Sheldon Richardson, who's been a Pro Bowler, was the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. You got Larry Ogunjobi going into his 4th season, who has 11 sacks over the last 2 years. Andrew Billings has been a starter his entire career down in Cincinnati, and probably a Texas legend that you knew about, breaking Mark Henry's powerlifting records. What's it like for you coming into that particular room with all those veterans?
It's a blessing just to be around this type of talent, these type of guys. Everyone has big hearts. Everybody trying to help each other get better. And we compete. We find a ways to do little competitions, whether it's with the playbook or whatever. We just find a ways to compete with each other. So that's something that I feel like everyone is really on board with. Just getting to the grind and just embracing everything that comes along with it.
And bringing the best out of each other when you got that talent. I know they say iron sharpens iron, and you guys really have an opportunity to do that in that room, and then going against the guys you're going to be going against in practice with Joel Bitonio and JC Treader on the other side.
Right.
It's going to be fun. I'm certainly looking forward to it. Now, all night, our fans have been looking forward to getting the opportunity to talk to you. We told them to use the hashtag #BrownsLive to get their questions in, and they did. So here are some of our fan questions for you, Jordan, and this is our first one from Nathan Shepard. What is your favorite part about playing the game of football?
I mean, honestly, just the violence of it. It's something that, it's something everybody says, but it's the truth. Just going out there and being able to just release physically, and not have to worry about any real repercussions. It's something that you look forward to every weekend. So
you get that opportunity to go in there and battle. And Becca asks about our interior defensive line, says a wide range of interest from paleontology, Myles Garrett, to outer space, Larry Ogunjobi. Do you have any hobbies or unique interests outside of football? Have you guys talked about that at all, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I make beats. I make music. That's something that I do. I feel like another D lineman, he does that as well.
Yes,
Chad
you and
Thomas.
Chad.
So,
yes.
It just, we have a lot of different type of people on our D line, but at the same time, we all can come together and work as one towards the same goal.
All right, we have another fan question. And by the way, I remember from our last time talking, Jordan, that you said look for a collab with you and Chad Thomas coming out sometime soon. Eric asks, is there one song you have to listen to before a game? And I think it would be natural to ask, given what you just shared with us. Do you listen to your beats before the game, or is there an artist you like to listen to?
Nah, I listen to Young Dolph before every game. Like, that's somebody that just get me to a different level, just mentally. So that's somebody I listen to all the time.
All right, we've got one final fan question for you, Jordan, and it's from Vince. He says, would you rather get a sack or blow up a run play for a loss?
Ooh, I'd probably say get a sack. That's something that, it's more rare than getting a TFL. So I feel like that's something that you celebrate more, and that's more exciting. So a sack.
Do you have a patented sack dance?
I need to make one.
Need to make one. All right, good. Well, we certainly look forward to seeing you unleash that here for the Cleveland Browns. And speaking of, I'm sure you saw the schedule when it came out. Any games on that schedule stand out? You're a Texas guy. I know the Houston Texans are coming to town with Deshaun Watson. Any of the games on the schedule really jump out to you that you're really pumped about?
Man, I'm pumped about every single game, honestly. Like, I look at them all the same. I'm excited, just ready to play.
Well, we cannot wait to see you up here, Jordan. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Stay safe the rest of this offseason, and certainly looking forward to seeing you get up here in Berea and starting to get to work on what should be a very exciting 2020 season for you and for the Browns.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there it is, folks. What a great time. 90 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. You know what that means? It's time for you to go ahead and woo-wee, crack a man can. That's right. And celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. This brosé, it's going to taste glorious. Thanks for being with us. We couldn't do any of this without you, the best fans in the National Football League. Thanks for joining us once again for Browns Live, Meet the Rookies, presented by Man Can.